have to. I'm just saying this is so valuable, and how fun would it be for us to just be able to share the video? If
Okay, it's
everybody didn't
recording.
have.
Perfect.
Oh,
So
oh
No,
boy.
record it.
we're looking in preparedness situations and scenarios where there's internet down, cell phone signals are down, the Wi-Fi fiber lines are down. There's no communication short of ham GMRS, and if the power's out, the repeaters are probably down. So, looking at an option where you're still able to utilize phones by pairing via Bluetooth to these devices. They do have a range, so you have to be within Bluetooth range. Um, but then you're able to send those encrypted text messages without any of the other networks that I mentioned before on your own. You can build your own private network. You don't have to rely on your neighbors or anyone else in the city. You can build a setup yourself and run it parallel to a Meshtastic system. So you don't have to rely on that network, those 7 bounces that we mentioned, um, to get the signal out there. Like I said, it's off of the 915 megahertz, which can be a little bit of an iffy frequency, but you're still able to do this line of sight. And with how, for example, Texas, where I'm at, it's pretty flat, except where I'm at. I'm kind of on a hill, which is great for me because what I was able to do was build. Actually, I purchased this one, a router of sorts. I guess you would call it a router, but it works kind of like a ham repeater in that it takes the signal, and because it's very high up, I have it on a 50-foot push pull mount, and it's solar powered, so I don't have to worry about the batteries dying. Uh, it is able to help the entire network where I'm at transmit any kind of signal further out. So that's kind of the idea with it, is that it's only going to grow and the network's only going to get stronger with with more people growing on it. Now, a lot of people go, well, these devices, they look, this looks kind of fragile. It looks like a circuit board with an antenna. I'm not going to carry that around with me if, there's some kind of crisis. How am I going to use this? Well, so they have built ones that are IP65 or 67 rated. And so this literally works the exact same as the other nodes that I have. This is by a company called Seed Studios. And this was about $50. You can get this on Amazon. All I did was put some paracord on it and a piece of Velcro. So if I'm out and about, I just stick it to my phone. And it
I have a
doesn't get
question.
in the way. Yes.
So you said Bluetooth range, that's between your phone and your device, right?
Correct.
But the transmission range, is that line of sight,
So
or how far does it go?
it's supposed to be line of sight. However, it works a little past, like, say if there's a tree in between the next node and me, it's going to obviously work through that and work around it. So right now the range is anywhere from a mile to 20 miles. If it's perfect conditions, I'm up very high and I can see like to the city. I can basically connect with it. And that's why with the router that I have, I put it up really high and made sure that it has power, and it does the rest. And I'm not some kind of tech whiz. It comes pre-programmed. All you have to do is flash it with a little bit of software updates, and it's all set for you. It's really simple to put together.
Okay, I have
They
another
actually,
question.
sure.
Sorry. So I must get a certain code, like, have a WhatsApp number, and then my buddy who I want to communicate must have a certain code, and it finds them through that way? Or how does that work? How do the messages get to my buddy?
Sure. So, in the app, I'll show in my areas. Might OPSEC myself a little bit, but that's okay. Um, they have the list of nodes that are visible. Now you can make your nodes invisible. That's always an option, and it is secure. So I don't know if you guys can see. All of these are nodes in my area. And what you can do is send them a direct message, or they have basically channels, which are giant chat rooms. And there's a primary one that everybody's invited to. You can also build your own, so it's just with your group. So if you want to send an emergency communications to just your group, you go in there, go into your private channel that you've set up, that everybody that has nodes has already joined, and say, hey, earthquake here, evacuate to, point Bravo or whatever, system your group has. But then if cell phones are out, if the cell signals don't work, if the towers are down, doesn't matter. You've already got your network set up that does not rely on them. So it's completely, away from that system. It is text only. And if you have Android, the really fun thing is that you can use, I think it's WinTAC and ATAC with it. So if you have a group of people moving, and you're trying to check on their location, you grab one of these, clip it to their backpack, and then, you can track them, track their movements, and message them and say, hey, move to, point Alpha. And
for us uneducated, what is WinTAC and ATAC?
so it was originally developed, a version of it for the military, where it is basically squad control and command and communication. So you're able to, open on your phone the map of the area, and you'll have a pinpoint location for where everybody on your team's located. So there's civilian versions of that available now using that same technology with Meshtastic. So that's all free as well. And from what I hear, it's just as encrypted as the regular Meshtastic system.
Is that does that use GPS, I assume?
So some of them nodes do have GPS built in. For example, the router repeater that I have at my house, it has GPS, it has weather, so I can tell what the weather is at my house by just checking in on that node. It gives you device metrics. So if you really want to nerd out, you can look and see how often it's being used, how often it's used to transmit signals. You can look at battery levels, all of it. It's fantastic. In the past couple of years, it has really, really scaled up.
Nice.
And
it's called Meshtastic, you said, like MESH tastic. Okay.
And they have it for Apple and Android. And the devices, I mean, you can get them on Amazon. The ones I really started with, they come as a kit that takes about 10 minutes to put together. They're $30 a piece. I still have them on different areas of my property. I Velcroed one actually to my truck. My wife has one. So if there's ever a situation where I'm in the city and I need to message my wife, boom, just get on there. I live in the middle of nowhere. Sometimes my cell signal doesn't work. Oh, look, I've got a redundancy. So this doesn't have to be a, oh my God, it's the end of the world kind of situation. It's a, oh, hey, look, the tower's down in our area. I can still text my wife, let her know, hey, I'll be home in like 45 minutes.
You can use it out at hunting camp.
You can use it at hunting camp. Absolutely. You put one on a ridge line, and then you've basically enabled communication with everybody on both sides of the mountain are able to talk.
You're blowing my mind, and this is so exciting for our group, because wouldn't it be nice if we American Survivor, Live Free USA, had its own network? And if you remember, for your extra $35 or whatever, you could get one of these devices and be part of our network. That is so cool.
That would be a really great value add. There's even some devices. So yeah, that's one of the ATAC available ones. On Amazon, there are ones by a company called Lilygo, Lilygo, and they have an all-in-one Meshtastic node that you don't need to pair your phone to. It's a standalone device. It looks like a BlackBerry with an antenna out of it. Yeah. So it's or Meshtastic, that'll work. And it's right around $90 to $95. And you can just see a wide array. So, the ones in black, those are one of the ones that I started with. They're by a company called Heltech. They're great boards. They're a little power hungry. If you scroll down to the next row, on the far right, that's called the T-Deck Plus. And that is, it basically looks like a BlackBerry, but it has Meshtastic software preloaded on it. And you operate that, you text through that device. So you don't even need to pair your phone to it. So it's an all-in-one device. That's great. Cool. If you don't want to mess with your phone, that's the way to go.
Very cool. I've heard of LoRa before. people who have taps on trees for maple syrup use them around here to communicate that kind of thing. Is that, it's a different system though that you're at?
It's a similar protocol. LoRa basically just stands for long range. And so they're probably using a similar software that's transmitting information from, the trees as far as, if the drains are clogged or if the buckets are full. There's a lot of capabilities with it. Or if the weather's even right to where the trees actually, I could be completely making that up. I don't really know. I've lived in the South basically all of my life, in either South Carolina or Texas, so I don't know how maple trees work.
John, is there a limit to the number of relays or, oh gosh, I'm going to forget my terminology now.
Oh, the hops?
Yeah.
So that is one of the things that they are still working on. Right now it's capped at 7.
Okay.
But for a nationwide, there is a setup where you can use a node, plug it into Wi-Fi, or connect it to Wi-Fi, and it's called MQTT. And basically, it is a node that everybody that can connect to the internet is able to see access with. How that's going to work in the future, I'm not sure. But that's the current setup for very remote areas, say, West Texas, where there's, a population of 12 people in the county. Well, I don't know if you're going to convince that many people into preparedness or Meshtastic, but MQTT is kind of that option to bring everybody into the party, but then and they're able to participate.
No, I see Mark has joined us.
It let me in this. It let me in this time.
Yeah, I think Mark talked a little bit about this. We've been doing radio communications, basically Bofang courses at Cabela's, communications courses about repeaters and all that kind of stuff. And Mark has been participating in that kind of thing. So this would be something I would think that we might want to add to those classes. Also get Barsky involved because he usually does those classes. But I got a couple of thoughts here. One, can we get this either in the video form that we're getting now, or in an article, or at least in a short item for the newsletter where all of us will know, I'm not going to remember all these numbers and all of these sources and all that kind of stuff. And I'm sure that, Cold War Prepper over there too probably could use this on his program. We need to be able to get this out beyond our inner group here.
Well, right now, since I turned the recording on, we've got video and a transcript in operation.
Okay.
So we'll be able to pull some of the information out of that. I will go to the storage site and download it as soon as we're done tonight, before I take down the computer to go to work.
Yeah, well, we definitely want to get that. And by the way, thanks, Jonathan. That's great. I know we're all really interested in doing that. And Mark is one of our radio ham operator. He's also the president of the group, but he's the ham operator, and he teaches ham radio classes from time to time. So I know he'd be very interested in contacting you on a one-to-one basis, right, Mark?
Yeah, you're the Meshtastic, LoRa, whole 9 yards. It's good product. I don't know. I didn't hear most of the conversation. I just got in, and they were late tonight. We had another ambulance down, and I couldn't come right home. So, anyways, good product. They were actually using that. The truck drivers were using it up in Canada when they were doing their anti-vax movement.
Protest.
Their protests. They were blocking the CB channels, and he says, "Yeah, that's all right. We got."
Yeah. Mark, I guess you missed the part. He was showing us how you could make your own.
Yeah.
And I think that would be a worthwhile thing, how to make your own, and also where to buy the equipment. So I think that's something that we need to disseminate to our membership. And I know Chuck is
Absolutely.
going to get at it. I think everybody's going to try to get communications out.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And one bonus for anybody that's a ham operator that has a
Mhm.
license. So normally you're capped at 1 watt, which is fine for, sending text. But it does definitely limit the bandwidth and the distance that you're capable of. If you're a ham operator, you can use the 433 megahertz band. But you get 10 watts of output.
Yeah.
Now, granted, then they say that you cannot encrypt the communication; it has to be plain text. But that that is an option. So everybody should get their ham license. I'm still working on it. I need to just go take the thing. But that's always an option for ham operators. Especially in those areas where you need a little extra wattage to get the signal out.
Yeah, that, ham operators also have they have other frequencies they can use for Wi-Fi above the 2.4 and the 5 gig that they're just given, because of the licensing. For the license is to be a hobbyist, a hacker. So develop the technology that everybody decides to use later and make money off of. So cellular phones are developed by ham operators.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
but it's I don't think that this replaces ham or GMRS by any means. I think it supplements it, just because you're able to send the messages in an encrypted fashion. And that's one of the things that I most of the people that I know that are into Meshtastic are ham operators. But then a lot of the people that I see that are resistant to Meshtastic are ham operators. So, your mileage may vary. But I think that it's a great supplemental tool, and kind of a foot in the door to communications for people that aren't radio savvy.
I operate as kind of the switchboard operator here. But anyhow, if you could send me your email address and maybe some information on this, and then I could put you in touch with Barsky and Mark and a couple other people, so you could work together to put together some kind of a program or presentation that we could get out to the members. And I know Rick is already working on that as well. So we have a couple other items to talk about tonight too. So.
Oh, perfect. John, I think I have a presentation from one of the PrepperNet meetings on Meshtastic that I could probably just forward over.
Okay, yeah, that would be great. I also wanted to just introduce you to Lee over here. Lee, you want to introduce yourself for a second to the other folks here?
John and I know each other. I've been to several of his meetings. They run fantastic meetings in San Antonio. But
I've talked about several of his meetings that I've gone to, and even if John didn't decide to join Live Free and become a member of Live Free, he's somebody that we should be in contact with and working with, because he puts together terrific meetings where I've learned a whole lot.
Yep. Yeah, I can see us putting up towers and extending his San Antonio all the way up here to Georgetown.
He is actually, like Rick, an old timer that was years and years ago was a member. Back when our only communications was snail mail.
Wow.
And then we lost a lot of those people until the internet, really got going. So he's another one of us old timers that's coming back into the group. And actually, I guess I'm going to throw this out there now, because we've been working together already, Lee and I, and we're like simpatico. Okay, we're on the same page in 100 ways. I would actually like to propose that we plug Lee into one of those open slots as director number 3, pending confirmation in March when we do our meeting. Is that something that we could do tonight?
If he's willing to serve, I'll second the motion.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye. Okay.
Hold on. He has to verify that he's willing to serve in the position.
Well, thank you. And being part of a group like this would be an honor. So thank you for even considering me.
Absolutely.
In that case, I vote aye.
Hey, John, how do you go about like authenticating or adding people to, since it's secured, I assume the random person can't just read the text messages. So how do you go about initiating I guess a network?
So as far as a network, you basically you create a channel, and you're able to add certain nodes. And basically, what the easiest way that I found it is if I have a friend that has a node, I'll go, hey, what's your node name? And you can rename your nodes to whatever you want, which makes it really easy. Having some kind of moniker associated with it typically works best, or a symbol. And they can tell you, hey, I am A2B6. Okay, perfect. So then I'm going to add just A2B6, and then any of the other nodes for my friends or group members, just able to add them that way. And then only those nodes have the passage into that channel.
Okay, so it sounds kind of like the really old ICQ, Internet Communications Protocol, where you friend somebody and then you can send messages back and forth just to them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that makes sense.
So it's pretty simple. It works off of a really low power level, which is great because if these things are hanging off of these tiny solar panels, and daisy chaining them down in any kind of property that you own or you're able to get access to, there's a lot of people in the area that will talk to water companies and say, hey, I'm a customer of your water company. Can I put this little communications device on top of your water tower? Which sounds wild, and I'm imagining that everyone says no, but I've seen a couple nodes actually on water towers in our area.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I've got a water tower 3 blocks from my house.
Just
There
a
you
little
go.
secret.
So that's something to look into.
All of the repeaters for the Williamson County Ham Radio Club are on top of hospitals. And there's a reason for that, because number one, hospitals have continuous power even in a power failure. And number two, part of the relicensing requirements for a hospital is that they have multiple nodes of communications in case of a communications blackout. So if you add another form of communications to their hospital by having a repeater or any kind of a system on top of their hospital, they're going to go for it in a heartbeat.
Very cool.
Very cool.
That's a thought.
That absolutely
because the Meshtastic repeaters that I'm seeing online are not that expensive. It would not be that hard for a small group to come up with the money for one and then donate it to the hospital, so long as we had access to it.
Yep.
That makes absolute sense.
Another crazy idea. A couple of years ago, I met with a guy in a new technology forum, and he was developing a system of communication between railroad crossings. Because in cities and stuff, when you have a train going through and somebody has to go to the hospital, it'll alert them as to a different route. So you don't sit there waiting for 10 minutes to get to the hospital. And apparently, and I didn't know this, but apparently railroad crossings have little boxes of information on them, that might be a very interesting thing to try and investigate from that standpoint. Just a thought.
Every crossing has a number, and if you call the phone number on there, you can tell them that crossing is blocked, or if your vehicle is stuck on that crossing or whatever, and they will automatically know which railroad to contact to stop the trains coming on that track. We learned that when we were EMTs. But most people don't know what those numbers are for.
I got to figure out how to get a hold of that guy, because that would be something really interesting to investigate. And if we could partner with them and allow us into their boxes, that would really be cool.
Or if anybody works in an office that's, a high rise, you put one next to a window. I know. So Retama Park is in Northeast San Antonio. I know that one of our nodes is there on the 5th story. That gives basically anything west of Retama Park, signal access, a place to bounce to if they need to hop to send it somewhere else.
You're talking
So-
about the racetrack?
Yep.
Yep.
So, if they have it 50 feet up and, in that area, it's relatively flat. You get most of San Antonio off of just that one tower.
I wanted to make sure, I emailed Dion and Patrick earlier to be sure and get in contact with Lee. Lee is already doing a terrific online book club, which I participated in last night, and it was a lot of fun. And he's really doing, I know you guys are both working on streaming programs and online programs, and you could probably share a lot of information with Lee. I'm sure he'd be glad to help you out with the software he's using, some of his experiences. So you guys could kind of network, Dion and Patrick and Lee to maybe be more effective and maybe do more programs. And I'm always willing, as you know, Dion, and I'm always willing to provide some content whenever you're ready to go. By the way, I'm going to be doing a program on wartime and war zone survival at Cabela's on the 18th. If we can get that in streaming or we can get that recorded, Dion, that would be great. I hope you're ready, and hopefully, I know you've had some issues, but hopefully you can get to that. That would be a good start.
Yeah, we're all moved in now. Finally got everything set up. So it's not perfect. I still got to have my, background and all that, but it's working. It's up and functional. So I'm actually resuming streaming tonight after the meeting. So I'd love to connect with all of you guys because I think there's a ton of information that needs to be shared out there.
Okay. But that was what I wanted to get. I just wanted to get that point across because you guys are, lots of times there's a meeting and one person or the other person isn't there. And I'm like, ugh, these guys should, so mission accomplished there. You guys keep me informed. Anything you need, anything support you need from the organization. We've got a little fun. So if there's some project that you need a little bit of financing for, if it doesn't go too far, it can be it's up to Mr. Hubbard there and Mr. Smith and me, and we might be able to get you a little financial help for that. And the other thing is, Yana, I can make about another 8 short videos. I didn't get to look at the ones you sent, but I got another 8 ideas. So
That's wonderful. As long as you brought that up. So I talked Jim into doing a series of shorts, and after he sent them to me, they were all about 2 minutes long. So I thought a good name for it would be 2 Minutes of Survival. Rick, did you get a chance to see the link?
Not yet.
Oh, okay. Well, are you guys okay with me just playing it?
If anybody's
Yeah,
fine.
and we were just taking a crack at the format, and it's got like a series of images in the beginning that we can swap out depending on whatever the theme is.
Okay.
But I'm not sure I know how to do this, but hit the share button.
It's going to ask you to choose a screen.
Oh, okay. Do you see something that looks like a dragon?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I buy gaming computers because they're more powerful.
And they're better graphics machines.
Yeah.
How do I get my? I just put it up on a private network on YouTube right now. I think I picked the wrong screen. If I did this, can you see that?
Yep.
Oh, okay, cool. Here we go. I'll just so this is just on my channel right now, but this is what we did.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Are we going to play? Hello.
Yeah, it does this to me too sometimes too.
Okay, there we go.
Oh.
Something's happening.
Oh, it's freaking.
There's some old guy.
I'm
Put that old
sorry.
guy
Maybe
on
what I can do, I'm not going to torture you guys anymore. I can just send you guys a link
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and then
do
you
that.
can watch it. But yeah, I thought he did a really nice job. The first one was called The Importance of Aspirin.
Yeah.
And he talks about how you should, keep that in your EDC bag or on your by your nightstand. And yeah, it was fun to put together, and I hope you guys like it. And if you do like it, then
Yeah.
yeah.
After I finally said, what can I do in 2 minutes or 1 minute or 2 minutes? But once I got my head wrapped around it, and I
Yep.
started going, like we talked about, Lee was talking about socks last night and the importance of socks. One of the ones I'm going to do is when you're out in the cold or cold weather, you carry socks under your shirt, a pair of wool socks under your shirt. If your feet
Okay.
get wet, you got dry socks. If you lose your mitten or you lose your gloves, you got mittens. And
Yeah.
this I picked up from my old winter mountaineering stuff that I used to do. I used to do crazy rock climbing at 10 below zero stuff. And I picked it up from some of the mountaineers and rock climbers. Carry a pair of wool socks under your shirt. So yeah, I can talk about that for 2 minutes. So I got another 8 or 10 of those that I can shoot at you. So it'll make a nice series. And you're doing a nice job of what I can see. So okay, moving along, I guess.
I've got one piece of Live Free business I want to put out there for especially the board. To help Yana manage memberships, I want to consider creating a state coordinator position. So she can hand off a list of people in a certain state to a state coordinator, and they can see about helping people in that state. That'll cut down on the amount of work she has to do and maybe extend our reach a little bit.
Okay.
And we could use some of the existing people right now, but as the group grows, somebody that wants to get involved, the state coordinator position would be a good one for them.
Yeah, it'd be a good idea to establish that. We used to have regional coordinators where we'd have like 3 or 4 adjoining states because we didn't have we didn't know if we'd have 50. We used to have chapters all over the country. We still have a handful now. But yeah, I think that's just putting that out there and letting it be known that we are looking for state coordinators or regional coordinators, however you want to set it up. I think it would be good. And then Yana could just be in contact with them.
Exactly.
You know,
Well,
she
I'll
doesn't
make a
have to
motion
worry
that
about
we
every
create.
single person.
That would be great because I
every
suck
time.
at it.
Well, I'll make a motion that we
people
create that.
don't like to admit it, but they like to have a title, okay? And they'll run with that. You give them a title, you give them a job, and they'll run with it. So, not a good idea.
Patrick has the floor.
I will make a motion that we create state coordinator position that reports directly to Yana.
I second the motion.
Aye.
Aye.
Good.
Opposed? So carried.
That's awesome because I suck at it. I like doing what I just did with I just put the link in the chat.
Well, something I just discovered. I've set up an email account specifically for our chapter here to use in the recruitment advertising that I'm going to do. And I set it up at Gmail. And what you get when you set up a Gmail account, you also get things like a YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to set up a Live Free Texas YouTube channel specifically for advertising events that are going on, maybe a kind of a news magazine show related to preparedness that Lee and I and anybody else that wants to be involved can do like twice a month or something. And we could do a live stream. We could talk about that. We could talk about things in the news that might affect preparedness. We can do instructional things like John did tonight.
Yeah.
On that channel, and then everybody's got their own channel where they can do their own thing. And I've got to start doing my own thing at Ready Magazine again. I haven't done anything with it in a while because I've been working on the newsletter so much. But that way we have a place to do advertisement, to do instructional videos, to show what we're doing, to show how we're helping the community, to encourage people to get involved.
Yeah.
And maybe that can set an example for other groups in other parts of the state and the country.
Yep. Examples, exactly. When somebody sees somebody else doing something and they become part of a group, we're all social animals.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I would do with it is like do a quick video announcement on that channel when for every Monday for Lee's thing on his channel when he's doing his book club, or his last Thursday of the month when he's doing his fiction book club, or any of the other stuff. And anybody else that's got their own channel, I can do the same thing with it.
So I have a quick question for you guys. I just put that up on Roving Blues YouTube channel. And like I said, I put it up as private. So only you
Yeah.
guys are going to see it. But who's going to maintain the official YouTube channel? Jim, are you going to put it on your own? Or are we going to have a,
I've got my own, but
should we have
Rick
a,
actually controls the Live Free YouTube channel because somehow I
Okay.
lost contact with it when I got a new computer. I never could get hold of it.
okay,
Yeah, and I
Rick,
can,
but
I can
that's
still
okay.
get into it.
so I
I'll
can
set
send
you up a Dropbox where you can drop the videos,
Okay. And then you can
and then
post
I
them.
will take them and put them on the official channel.
That'd be
Matter-
awesome.
As a matter of
then I
fact, let me work on that right now while we're
Oh,
talking.
cool. And just for anybody else, it's all helpful. Lee's got his own channel. Jim's got his own channel. Everybody might have a channel. Let's all get on each other's
Mhm.
channel and like and
Yeah.
share and subscribe,
Yeah,
and that would be
I
fun.
was going to suggest
I'm-
that network.
Yeah.
I still put them on my channel, but because I got a new channel since, but the original channel we set up for Live Free, Rick actually has control of that, which is probably just as well. So anything I make, I would send to Rick. And right now, there's a whole lot of stuff out there already. Just want to compliment everybody. I think Lee had something to do with it a little bit. Yana had something to do with it, all you guys. But there's been a dramatic increase in our online memberships. I mean, like 20% increase in our online memberships.
Woohoo.
So yeah, it's because the old online snail mail memberships are sort of, they're still there though. When we go out and do an event, and there are people, be aware, folks, there's about 10% of our membership does not have a computer at all, does not do email at all. There's still a significant number of people out there that just don't do this stuff. Okay. So we still want to service them, and that's gone up considerably too. That's gone up maybe 50% from the beginning of the year. So on both fronts, we're making progress. So no use doing all this great stuff if people aren't watching it or participating or reading it in that case, and they are. So
Yana, I just posted a link to a place where you can drop those videos.
Got it. I just copied it.
Right
Cool.
on.
All right.
Yana,
Yes.
I see a couple of different Wisconsin prepper, several actually. Does yours
Really?
have the wolf or a feather?
Feather.
Feather, okay.
Yeah,
Thank
because you
you.
can get blown away just like that.
Okay.
I didn't know there was another Wisconsin prepper. I'm gonna have to
There-
check that out.
Yeah, there's several. If you just put in Wisconsin prepper, it looks like there's
Oh,
one with a wolf, yours with the feather, then just a W with a green background.
oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
I'm not that active on it. I haunt other prepper channels and I drop hints every now and then to direct people towards my water purification company. That's pretty much what I do there. but-
Yana,
Yeah.
email me about the kind of music you want for these videos, and I'll see
Oh,
where I
I
can
have
come
a
up with
cut.
my. What's that?
I did get a cut that was open source. So, but if you've got a good one, something better you'd rather have, I'm happy to
No,
use
I've
it.
got I've got a Galaxy AI account for creative AI. One of the things it'll do is create music.
Nice. Very
So-
cool.
I'll play around with that and send you the results.
Sure. Okay.
Mark, while I got you there, how did things go Sunday?
That went pretty good actually. Roger didn't have a concept of the property and everything that we had. When he got to looking at it, he was like, wow. So he got all in on it. So I've got him and Henry set up with emails back and forth to start discussing this. What we're going to do, what I think we're going to do is we're going to try to work on putting together the itinerary, food, and some of the other things that we need to work out to do it. And then we want to target doing it next fall. That way we have enough time to promote it. And also maybe get a couple good speakers, besides our own. So the property is 35 acres on one side of the road and another 40 acres on the other side of the road, and it's in the middle of nowhere. So with a house and a garage and a small outbuilding, and by the end of the summer, he should have showers and washrooms on the south side of the street, and we already have that in the house. So it should work out really well to replace Camp Independence and bring it back. It's just trying to get enough interesting instructors. Now this location, different from the state park, we control it all. So like we were charging $35 to come into Camp Independence normally. And then you'd have to buy camping from the state park and, entry fee and so on. This situation, we can set up some electric, and he's got enough slots to put in a couple dozen campers, regular campers, and probably 25 or 30 tent campers on the property. We should have a nice fire pit area, in the center area, in the camp area, which should work out really well to get the people to talk to each other and, communicate around, in between classes or at morning, breakfast, dinner. So we can do drones. We got 2 firing ranges to work with. We've got a lake to work with. So a lot of property there to play with.
Yeah, and those of you that aren't familiar with, because you're not from this area, we've been working with a couple of our members to develop, as you can imagine, I think you can figure out, our own survival. It won't be Live Free's. It's actually Henry's property, but basically he needs us to be part of the organizing element of that. And we just contributed some equipment for him. We had a big tent and some other stuff that we weren't using, to put Camp Independence back together next fall. Now, that doesn't mean there can't be another Camp Independence going on in Texas or North Carolina or somewhere else. We could kind of franchise that name. But anyhow, that's, I was wondering, because he had a meeting this Sunday. He took some of that equipment out there and they went out to look. So anyhow, I'll talk to you, Mark, out in a few weeks or at the next gun show or whatever. We'll get some more and maybe get some photos. I'd like to see exactly where the location is. I'd like to know that. But anyhow, yeah, I'm glad. That sounds like we're making great progress there. By the way, mention to Henry, I know he doesn't do computers and he hasn't been to a gun show lately, but he's in errors on his membership. So we definitely need him to be still a member,
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Well,
So remind him.
That's not a problem. He
Oh no, he's always paid his dues, but he always paid them in person.
Yeah, he likes doing that. Yeah, he likes doing that. I get him. He won't have any problem.
Oh no, I'm sure.
Yeah,
He's a great instructor. He's a great instructor, by the way, folks. But he's again not like he wouldn't be part of this meeting. Let's put it that way. He's a little more, socially enclosed, I guess would be a good way to put it. But he's a great instructor.
They just put up a repeater on his property, so
okay. See? So,
They got
so
a
anyhow,
GMR
that's
repeater
it's another
up
thing
there.
that's going on. Just want everybody to know that there's more stuff going on.
Yeah, if you guys, if you guys can come up with anything you want to teach, or if you're available for that, next fall, just somebody hit me up or hit Jim up, either way.
What was the location on that?
The location's going to be Wheatfield, Indiana. It's right next door to Jasper Pulaski Fish and Wildlife.
Oh,
Okay.
okay, nice.
Yeah,
You know what?
he's
Yeah.
gonna
We
have
should
all-
start promoting this on our Facebook pages and stuff too, and on our local email list that we're looking for instructors. Now,
Yeah.
not,
Let me bust
You
into
never
this
know
for a
what you'll
second.
hit.
John's got his hand up.
yeah,
Go
you
for
never
it.
know.
Hey, I'm sorry, I didn't want to interrupt. I have to run, but this has been exceptional. Definitely, I'm excited to I'm happy to meet all of y'all, and this is great. So keep me in the loop.
Yep.
And I'll talk to some of y'all in person, and I'm sure some of y'all through the internet.
Yeah, shoot me an email at survivorjj@aol.com, and we can network together too.
It says survivorjj@aol.com.
Yep, that's me. Been that
All
way
right.
for 30 years since I had dial-up.
Wow.
I put
hey.
my email into the chat, John. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, I've got I'll
Okay.
I'll open that up, and I'll shoot y'all some emails.
Perfect. Appreciate it. Thank you.
John,
Thank you.
Yeah,
John,
it was
thank
very,
you for
very.
taking time out
Yep.
tonight to talk to us about Meshtastic. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate it.
Hey, that's what
Very
we're here
informative.
for. We're one big community, so let's make it
Welcome
as
aboard.
strong as possible.
Absolutely.
All right, y'all. Take care.
Okay,
night.
take care.
Adios.
Stay safe.
But every time I've talked about going to a meeting in San Antonio, it's been one of his. He is really seriously
Oh, really?
dedicated
Yeah.
to this.
Did that Kerr County thing ever happen, that expo?
I'm fairly certain it did, but I ended up working weekends again, so
Ah.
I couldn't get there.
Uh,
I'm going to try to sit down with the guy who ran it, because he's running a small group in Kerr County too.
oh, okay.
So
Yeah,
next
see if
time
they're
I'm
gonna
there,
do
I'm
it
going to try to
again.
set up something. He was just so busy because he had shows 4 weekends in a row.
Wow. Oh, yeah.
The one in Hayes County, the one in Bandera County, his, and then one other that he was doing presentations at. And I ended up not being able to go to any of them because I ended up working weekends again.
Well, this is my first weekend off this last weekend, and shoot, like 3 months.
Well, after this weekend, that should be the end of me working weekends. And the only reason I'm working this Saturday is because the new girl that we hired hit us at the last minute with a thing she had to do that Saturday. So I could sit. I thought it was great. I went ahead and accepted it because it gave me the opportunity to sit and watch Lee's live stream with Jim last night, which, by the way, was excellent. Both of you. If you haven't seen it, go to his channel and take a look and watch the video. So I think he put in a link to it. Yeah, he did. Watch the video he did with Jim. It was excellent.
Yeah, we got to touch a lot of just the right subjects to get me wound up. He'd ask me a question, right? Yeah, I'm talking away and this and that and this and that. And I'm like, I'm sorry. Thus endeth the sermon.
We've had 2 Mondays in a row that we've been very, very lucky. You were preceded by Yana, who did a fantastic job. And then what I've talked to Rick about is I'd like to get a group of 4 or 5 of us together on a live stream and just kind of BS about prepping.
That'd be
and
great.
Our thoughts, our fears, our plans, and just let people watch us BS with each other.
Love it.
I'm down.
I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm in.
better on the weekend, but I'm down.
Okay.
There, I just want to show off if we're mostly done. Are we mostly done?
Well, we can all wait for your show off.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah, I saw that on Facebook.
Nice.
Wow. Last weekend.
Are you going to ship me some of that venison?
Yeah.
Gotta butter me up.
How many pointers was that?
That was a doe.
Oh,
That was a doe. Yeah.
And then I
Oh,
thought it was
no.
a Texas rabbit.
I didn't get a good look at it.
No, it
Yeah,
was a big doe. No, I'm really happy. It cooled down nicely because we've had extremely hot weather, and
yeah,
it went down to 44
That's
that
good.
night, so it cooled it off while it was hanging. It
That's
was
good.
great. Yeah.
yeah. That would be an issue. Well, I got nothing more. I think it's been a great meeting.
Well, I
Yeah.
think the only thing I really wanted to bring up was the state coordinator thing, and that's passed. So, Yana, you and I will talk at some point and start figuring out how we're going to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And Patrick had some comments about the website and maybe helping out getting it updated and stuff. And I think that would be great because both you and I never even can deal with that. So,
Well, it's
like-
been a matter of time for me because I've
Yeah.
got a lot going on.
and he's
But
offering
I'm
help.
supposed
though.
to I'm
Yeah.
supposed to have a spot set up separately from American Survivor for livefree.org. And I got so caught up in other stuff that I kind of let it slip for a little while. I need to send a message to Morgan to make sure it's still set up and still reachable, so
And-
that
and,
I
you know,
can pick
honestly,
up the work
though,
on it again.
I just think that why double your efforts? I mean, go have one website and go with it. Why have
Yeah.
two?
It's a matter of name recognition. That
Yeah.
and the fact that we need to start taking Live Free back from the anti-gun group that's using
Yeah.
it as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they'll fizzle out eventually. We will not fizzle out.
Well, they've had a domain as Live Free USA for 10 years now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Unfortunately, we didn't have any 13-year-old kids to help us set up a website back
Yeah.
20 years ago.
Yeah, sometimes you got to give it up. Like when we had a OPEN, our first Ozopen device was called the OPEN, and then a vape company came out with it, and they absolutely killed us. And every OPEN was a vape, so we changed the name. It's like couldn't
Yeah.
fight them.
But yeah, he's
Yeah.
right. It's better to have two names than no name. or
I suppose, but with limited time and resources,
Yep.
I don't know. Having two is tough, or at least you can mirror it. You can do the same
Yep. Yeah.
content on
So
two.
one links to the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
well,
So-
no,
Yeah,
the Live Free .org is just going to have membership information.
Mm.
It's meant to just be a brochure site,
Okay.
and then content goes to the publication, which is American Survivor.
Fine.
Okay.
So, and I need to talk to Morgan, see if we can't. I need an empty place for it to go. I don't need a WordPress for it. It's going to be 5 pages with a way people can sign up, and then I want to feed that sign up information directly into the existing database on American Survivor.
Okay.
So it's just a matter of working through with him when he decides he has time again to get
Yep.
that done.
Okay. Bless you.
Well, if you take a look at all Webco, just look that up in a search engine. They've got pre-built cookie cutter, short, couple page sites.
Yeah.
That you can, and then just throw all your stuff in it.
I've already got most of it done.
Oh, okay. All right.
I was getting to the point where I needed to start converting it to WordPress, and I'm finding I don't need a WordPress for this. I just need straight HTML. So it's
Right.
mostly done. I've got the membership system to plug in, which is just going to be a form that feeds to what's already existing. And I got to get around to helping Rosanna set up her membership system so she can start charging for it.
Okay.
So it's just that caught me in the middle of getting the newsletter done, and I was already behind on it because of other things. Thankfully, I got it out on time.
Yep.
But yeah, I've got a little bit of time now to start working on other stuff like that. Just a matter of prioritizing what is most important.
Yeah, I got to give you a couple of short articles. I know you got long ones, but I'll try to get you a couple of product reviews or something.
Well,
I've been
Neil
kind of
has
sidetracked.
promised me an article on micronutrients, because he is like very seriously into good nutrition.
Okay.
So he's writing me an article on that, and then Lee has kind of suggested a communications article he might write to put in a newsletter as well. So we're starting to get the material together, and then I've got to do the last layer of the survival kit that I've been doing the last couple of I'm finally getting to the actual bug out bag article. So I got to start writing that as well.
And you
That's
should
gonna
have
be the
some from
longest
me
one.
too.
What's that?
I said, I think I sent you over 2 or 3.
Yeah, I've got 2 in. There's actually one that's coming out. The survival gunsmithing article is coming out in this next issue.
Okay. I'll be working on another one here in the next couple of weeks. I'll get out to you as well.
Sounds good.
I
So,
might-
so with anything Jim sends, that's probably going to make the January, February, and we need a threat matrix for the year, which ought to be a pretty interesting article this year. But that's the last of what I've got for tonight.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Seconded.
Sure.
All right,
All right.
folks, it's been a good meeting. Thank you.
Everyone stay
Thanks for
safe
meeting.
and live free.
Good night, everybody.
I'll see you
Pleasure
soon.
meeting people.
Alrighty.